Well, I'm glad I looked up so I could adjust my words here. Monsieur Speaker, honourable senators, dear colleagues, it is my pleasure to rise today in strong support of Motion 3, introduced by Senator Colin Deacon. This motion is both timely and important. Technology is reshaping every part of Canadian life, from how we work and learn, how we govern, heal, connect with one another. Making technology a core consideration across Senate committees is essential for responsible governance in this period of rapid transformation. This means asking not only what technology can do, but also who benefits, who may be harmed, and how these changes strengthen the well-being and prosperity of society as a whole. In other words, the how of technology-driven transformation is just as important as the what. This motion is asking us to recognize that steady state is not an option. A sober second thought should not be steady state. And as complex as technology and innovation may be, and it is, what is more true is technology is fast moving. And forgive me, but I am not sure that the Senate is always built for speed. Yet I do believe the Senate can move at the speed of technology. In fact, we have no choice. We are in a global technological sprint in the midst of many, many marathons that is rewriting every file this Senate touches, and Canada must lead and not lag. Technology, artificial intelligence, and machine learning, AI, ML, are influencing some of the world's most pressing issues, whether we like it or not. From healthcare, the economy, the markets, national security, education, mental health, climate, people, us. Emerging technologies are advancing at unprecedented speed. Canadians expect not only cutting-edge tools, but also fairness, transparency, ethical oversight, and resilient systems. If technology is an afterthought in our work, we will lose influence, we will miss something that we shouldn't, and we may even become irrelevant. Change is hard. Irrelevance is harder. Let me take you on a journey from my old world. And I promise not to speak about it every single time I speak, though I'm not sure I can promise that. However, I ask you right now to remember two things. I ask you to remember a name and a statement, and I'll come back to them later. The name, Adam Rain. The statement, it's a quote. I was going to try and kill myself tonight when I reached out, and they helped me so much. I feel like I can fight another day, and they told me that I'm a fighter. I love speaking about this journey in places where people are kind of confused as to why I'm actually speaking here. I quote again, though it's not really a quote. What the heck is a social service charity? Albeit the most trusted charity brand in Canada. Nonetheless, what the heck is a social service charity doing on our stage talking about technology? On a tech festival stage like Elevator before that collision, at Davos at the World Economic Forum, even at global mental health conferences that don't necessarily even consider digital. Places like Singapore, Australia, UK. And here, in the upper chamber, the Senate of Canada. That journey I'm going to talk about relates to this Motion 3, technology and innovation. I'm going to talk about a simple thing, really, a mindset shift, exactly what Motion 3 is asking us all to do. At Kids Help Phone, KHP, that social service charity, the only 24/7 e-mental health solution coast to coast to coast in Canada. That mindset shift happened 7 or 8 years ago. It was anchored in know who you are, and you will know where you need to go. You'll actually see it. We sat around an executive table and a board table, grappling with how we were going to stay relevant. Kids are changing faster, technology even faster than that. And we did something very odd. We put two things that were obvious to the side. We put being a charity, because that was obvious, to the side. The odd thing that day is we put youth and mental health to the side because it was obvious we were Kids Health Phone. It's obvious we're all about youth mental health, so we put that to the side. And then we looked at what was right in front of us, and that was not so obvious. It was clear then, though. We understood that we were an innovation, data-driven technology charity that had a laser-sharp focus on youth and mental health. It was reordering of the words, a nuance, but it was a mindset shift. It was who we were, and it changed everything. From how we organized our front lines, to how we operated, our vision, our strategy, our brand, and we quickly built the innovation imperative. Imperative being the operative word. We used AI, artificial intelligence, and machine learning to launch new services and technology. This was in 2018. We created new programs and access points from coast to coast to coast with a strong focus on equity. We changed our mojo even. We didn't just sit meekly at the corner of a table and ask to speak. We took our place at the table, and we even chaired that table many times. And as smart as we thought we were with that mojo, what we didn't know, we had no clue that what we were doing was we were building for COVID. And when the world shut down and Canada shut down, we scaled and we scaled and we scaled again. From 1.9 million interactions in 2019, a 30% uptick from the year before, to more than 22.5 million interactions as of yesterday, a 250% increase. With that kind of growth, you need to decide what you're going to give up. And what could we give up? We promised youth we would be there. So what could we give up? Nothing. Technology, AI, ML were an integral part of how we scaled and how we ensured that wait times stayed at around 3.5 minutes and over every 24-hour period. And quality scores stayed over 90%. KHP moved at the speed of youth and technology. I tell you this real-life application of AI, ML, and technology of innovation that because it requires one very clear thing, one very intentional clear thing, a mindset shift. And since then, KHP has taken the stage in the technology innovation sector many times over, and even launching the KHP Accelerator at Elevate last October and in Davos last January. And why? Why? Because lives depend on it. So let me bring this back to motion 3 and all of us. If the Senate examines technology in isolation, it risks enabling systems that unintentionally leave people behind or cause harm. By explicitly broadening the lens, the Senate can help ensure that Canada builds a future economy that is not only innovative and competitive, but also just and inclusive. These are not side issues. They are central to ensuring that technological progress delivers real benefits for Canadians. Other jurisdictions have recognized this. The European Union's Horizon Program, the OECD's Oslo Manual, the U.S. CHIPS Act, all require technology to be assessed alongside its broader socioeconomic impacts. The United Kingdom and the Nordic countries also embed these dimensions into their innovation strategies not only measuring success through patents and profit, but in health, equity, inclusion, and regional prosperity. Canada should do no less. There is no question the pace of change is relentless. The Senate can either shape that change or be overtaken by it. Motion 3 is a simple structural step to make a technology lens routine in committee work. This is not a procedural nicety. It is a decision, a decisive act that will equip our committees to protect Canadians, preserve equity, and ensure public policy keeps pace with how people live, work, and play. So let me bring you back to the beginning. Adam Rain, a 16-year-old from California, a great kid who died by suicide in April 2025 with the help of ChatGPT. Quote, I was going to try and kill myself tonight when I reached out, and they helped me so much. I feel like I can fight another day, and they told me that I'm a fighter. A KHP service user triaged using AI to a human crisis responder in Canada. Steady state is not an option. There are too many atoms that are asking us, pleading with us, to make sure there is technology for good and AI for good in all the work that we do. Time is of the essence. Innovation and data-driven technology is, in fact, life-changing. We must ask ourselves in every committee, during every study, how is technology, AI, ML, impacting this work in Canada? Motion 3 is a mindset shift that can change everything. So I thank you, dear colleagues. Merci, miigwech.
Senator Deakin, would you like to ask a question?
If Senator Hay would accept. Thank you.
Yes.
Senator Deakin.
Thank you, Speaker Pro Tem. Lovely to see you sitting there. I'm really honored by your speech in terms of the way you articulated a really important perspective on Motion 3 and its intention. And thank you. It was you've knocked me back a bit with how compelling a presentation you gave us. I want to just ask one specific question as it relates to rural, remote, marginalized communities. We often think of technology being an urban phenomenon, but the opportunities outside of our urban centers and the needs are tremendous. Would you have a perspective that you could offer? I'm sure you do, because you mentioned coast to coast to coast and the services that were provided that could help us understand the need or issues that need to be considered when we're looking outside of our urban centers. Thank you.
Senator Hay.
Thank you for the question, Senator Deakin. I did promise not to always speak about my former world, but I will in this case. There is no equity in Canada when it comes to health and mental health and many things with regards to rural and remote communities. That is without question. And so in what I do know, in those vast numbers, in the vast data that KHP has, which is the largest, most significant, unique, real-time, real geography data, real language data in the country, 40% of all of those data points that I speak about come from rural Canada because they do not have all of the same services wrapped around them that they might have in an urban area. So technology enables accessibility and programs they wouldn't even have. For example, a counselor in the classroom program, which is easy to deliver using curriculum with teachers and video with a counselor into a classroom, perhaps. In a remote area, that works, but it feels very transactional. So technology like virtual reality is changing the game when we are in remote communities using technology and AI. So if your question is, will rural Canada and remote Canada benefit? 100% benefit. New programs, new accessibility points. It is proven time and time again through the work that I have done that programs, first of all, distinction-based, and I wouldn't even say co-created, created by the communities that we serve, are not only successful, but game-changing and life-changing and wouldn't be possible without technology.